You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Sally Maxwell. How to get off autopilot and design a life you absolutely love. I have Sally here with me today. You're going to love this conversation. Sally is just, first of all, a cool chick. I can't wait to talk to her just about her life. She is passionate about working with people to transform their lives using the Handel Method. Is it Handel or Handel? Handel Method. Yes. And you are going to enjoy her very warm and natural teaching ability. And what she does is she breaks down what they call the HG principles in a direct and loving way. She's been doing this work with the Handel Group since 2010. She's the VP of HG Life Division. She's a senior coach. And also, she is a theater woman. She has a BA in theater and music from Middlebury College. She also used to be an alpine skier, a racer. She's an actress, and she is really living life on her terms, doing all of those things, living in Colorado with her husband, her daughter, and her dog, who I bet is really cute. She skis, does yoga, hikes with the dog. She cooks. So let me just start with a really random question. What is your favorite thing that you're cooking right now?
I have to say tacos. I cooked the most amazing beef and cauliflower, 2 different kinds tacos last night that had all the fixins. And my husband, daughter, and mother-in-law and I were just like eating them until our tummies were full.
That's amazing. Wait, the cauliflower was like in with the meat?
No, what we did was we roasted cauliflower. We put some paprika, a little bit of some savory spices on it, and we roasted it so that it was sort of like a mock meat. So we had one and then we had one beef.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I need to get that recipe. That sounds like right up my alley. I made this thing that was cauliflower nachos.
Yeah. That sounds like they sound like cousins.
Yeah, exactly. It was like you roasted them and this is such a random thing, but when you put apparently cauliflower and you roast it and it doesn't touch, it gets a little more crispy. I learned that. I didn't know that. And then you just put all the stuff on it. So there you go. You got a little recipe tip here right at this get-go. So let's talk about, so what's the Handel Method? You know, how did you find it? Just talk to us about that first.
Okay, so the Handel Method is really a straightforward and innovative coaching method that has essentially changed the lives of thousands of private and corporate clients over the 20 years that we've been doing it. We teach at MIT, Stanford Graduate School of Business, over 50 educational programs. And what really makes it so tangible and unique and quite impactful, Marni, is that it's very specific and measurable. So if you consider that there are a lot of modalities out there in the world, this is the only modality that I've found that combines the actionables, it's like the take the action, do the thing.
Right.
With the dealing with your emotions and how you quote unquote feel about it. Right.
Right. Yeah.
With your spiritual belief system. So it combines the woo-woo with the practical ass-kicking, with the emotional, how you feel about it. And combining those 3 elements creates for a cohesive, transformational experience for our clients, because it addresses all of the aspects of humanity. It's not just right? It's not just spiritual. It's not just action oriented, because when you focus on just one of those things, oftentimes you can go for about 2 weeks with success, but then you fall off the wagon, because ultimately, have you ever had the phenomenon where you try a diet for 2 weeks, but then you fall off the wagon because you don't feel like doing it, and you really have an underlying relationship with food that actually needs to be addressed and shifted?
Yeah, you have to change your brain. Shit doesn't work unless you change your brain, for sure. That's amazing. So then so there you were like an alpine competitive ski racer, an actress. Were you doing all those things what was going on in your life that you decided that you something had to be addressed? Like what were your deep emotional issues and your actions that you weren't achieving?
So I had retired from competitive alpine ski racing, and I was deep in the heart of my career as an actress in New York City. And I had the fortune of being friends with Lauren Handel Zander, the co-founder of Handel Group. Long story short, my husband was her client way back in the day before she even had Handel Group. So I got to know her as a friend, and she was talking with me one day. She was like, "So how's your career going?" And immediately my heart sank, because I'll paint you a picture. I was struggling getting cast as an actress in New York. So you can picture poor early 20-year-old Sally, 15 pounds overweight because I was emotionally eating, because that's the only thing that was making me happy. And you find an actress who's 15 pounds overweight, and that doesn't go too well.
Right.
I was trying to put on a happy face to my family and my friends who had supported me every step of the way through schooling and studying. So essentially I was like lying to my family and friends about how great it's going in New York. But like every day I knew I was living a lie, torturing myself, and not succeeding. So I essentially told that to Lauren in a long-winded way. And she said, "Well, what's the problem?" And I said, "Well, the problem is that I can't make any money to pay my rent. So therefore I might have to give this up." And she said, "Oh my God, why don't you come be an admin for my company? Just come be an admin. And that way you can put some money in your pocket and you can pursue your dream as an actress." And that's where it all started. And I was like, "All right, I'll work for my friend's company as an admin assistant. Thanks for the leg up."
Right.
From there, what happened is, one thing that Lauren believes is that, everyone who works for her company has to walk their talk.
Right.
So all of our employees get coached with this coaching method. So as soon as I started working, I actually got a coach who started working with me on evolving my own life. And I remember where I was sitting in this first coaching session, because it was the first time somebody had really nailed me on my bullshit of what was keeping me stuck.
What was your bullshit?
My bullshit was that I had created this construct in my life where I believed that in order to feel loved, I had to be super golden Sally. I had to be so therefore I had to like have the perfect career, the perfect this, the perfect that. And that's what was propagating the lying to my friends and family about like how well it was going, in quotation marks.
Right, right.
And also, I was lying to myself about my body. I came into my coaching session and I was like, "I don't understand. I'm going to the gym. I'm working out. I'm eating salads. I'm doing everything right. The doctor even says I have a low thyroid. What gives?" So my coach said, "Okay, keep it the food log for a week and come back to our coaching session." And get this, I had amnesia about the fact that I was essentially like downing a bag of Tate's cookies every night before bed.
Wow. But I do appreciate that. That's a good cookie.
It's a
yeah, it's a good cookie.
But
you get it in the hell. It's not like it was, Chips Ahoy. So I can see how you could have amnesia about that one.
I know, but like not a good cookie if it's sabotaging my relationship to myself and my soul. So like the truth was I was just being a schmuck with myself across the board, and I wasn't recognizing it as that. And what my coach helped me do was essentially create a boot camp to get me into the right actions to start getting to auditions, eating properly, having the conversations that I was scared to have with my friends and family. But meanwhile, dealing with my feelings and my fears around pursuing my dreams for theater. And meanwhile, dealing with my underlying beliefs of my own self-esteem and evolving all of that together. And like, I got into a body that I was proud of. I got a pre-Broadway contract. I evolved my life and my relationships with my friends and family tremendously. I got into a relationship with the man of my dreams who I'm now married to and have a child with. Like that all happened in a short, tiny period of time just by me essentially de-gucking myself of my own guck. And that blew me away to the point where I was like, other people in the world need to know this. It's like, when you get the best pair of jeans and you go and tell all of your friends, "Ladies, go get these pair of jeans. They make your butt look amazing." Like you have to shout from the rooftops.
Yes.
So that's how I felt about this. I was like, all right, I got to shout this from the rooftops. So, 13 years later, here I am. as a expert coach here, VP, running, helping to run the company. And I'm just proud to be shouting it from the rooftops, still pursuing performing in more of a hobby way that actually aligns with my higher ideals.
Oh,
now.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's amazing. And I think this is really cool because, one of the things that I just get really excited about, I was, stalking you online. And I think there, as one wants to do sometimes when we're impressed and inspired, right?
That's how I got my husband.
That's
stalking.
That's so good. I want to hear that story in a minute. But it's what I love that you're really also modeling is this whole idea that I'm really excited about these days, which is like life design. It's this idea of looking at what are all the dots, that are the themes and patterns of my life, and how can I integrate them in a way that feels like resonant with who I really am now, this like emotionally aware, conscious adult Sally, right? Like, oh, she still gets to act. She still skis. She's still, she's doing all these amazing things. What's different? So when you think about your life now, what feels different? You're doing some of the same actions, but the feeling tone is obviously 13 years later super different. What's it feel like on the other side that our listeners can be like, wait, yeah, my life doesn't feel like this, or yeah, my life feels like this, I must be on the right path?
That's a great question. So the difference is the reason why I'm doing it. So my why now is very different from my why 10, 15 years ago. My why 10, 15 years ago is rooted in that, like I said before, that, I got to win the gold medal. I got to be on Broadway. I got to be the golden child in order to achieve love. So I'm on this constant hamster wheel to achieve. Now, mind you, I wasn't having that inner dialogue. I wasn't connecting the dots. I was a very loved, I grew up in a beautiful family. Like I was a very loved individual, but I still had this fundamental belief that achievement equals accolades and support and love.
Yep.
Right. So
I think we all can. I mean, I grew up that I made that rule. I was like, if I do this, then people say, good job, you're awesome. So I'll just try and keep doing that.
Exactly. Who can't relate?
Yeah.
And that was my why. What I've learned and developed myself, because, I still get coaching. I still evolve and practice the methods that I teach. And what I've learned is that my why now is because it brings me joy.
I love that.
Yeah.
And how do you, so when you think about the feeling tone of joy, are you thinking like, are you thinking this is joy? Are you feeling joy? Like, because I think that's a big question that people have is, and I'm curious what you believe about this. There's this idea of like happy, and then there's this, I think, like the underneath of happy, which is joy or peace. Like,
yes.
What's the difference? How do you experience that difference? And what do you think? Yeah, just talk to me about that, because I feel like that you have a lot to say. Something tells me you have a lot to say about that.
I have so much to say about that. So joy, I'm not talking about the joy that our lower self seeks, like the immediate joy, like,
define lower self so people know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a higher self. Our higher self is connected with our highest ideals, our bigger dreams, what we're here on this planet to do, who we're here to love and impact, right? That's our higher self. And then our lower self is that kind of bratty voice that doesn't want to go to the gym, that doesn't want to have the hard conversation, that's scared to actually tell the truth on our dating profile that we actually want a deep relationship. So instead we say, I'm just looking for a partner in crime, right? That's our lower self.
Got it. Okay. So then go back to the joy, happy thing.
Yeah. So the very first thing that I have all of my clients do, and that we have our clients do in our online coaching program as well, is write their dreams in 12 areas of life, 12 different areas of life, write their dreams from the perspective of their higher self. So like, imagine this. You have different areas of your life, your relationship to self, your body, your love life, your career, your money, your time, your home, your family, your friends, your fun and adventure, your community and contribution, and your spirituality. These 12 areas of life are all important and all impact how you thrive. And if these areas of life aren't getting addressed, or some are just like ignored in the back closet, then you're going to feel empty. So the first step to really like understanding, okay, what actually does bring you joy is challenging yourself to dream in all of these areas. And I have to stress challenge, because we adults, the older we get, we forget how to dream.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because we only believe, whatever is possible for us is right in front of our nose, or whatever we've proven is possible for us. So we actually push our clients to get in their heart and tune out their negative inner dialogue and tell the frickin' truth about what they want. That's where you start.
And I find this so interesting. So we just started in our organization teaching some life design. And so the groups that we put through our content and our process, I'm always just like, it shocks and also amazes me how when you say like, what is it that you want? People constantly just go for the life that they have, but maybe like a 10% like tweak or adjustment. Their brains like literally can't imagine other possibilities. And so have you read The Midnight Library? Have you ever read that book?
No. I'll put
Oh my God, Sally, you've got to read this. Okay, it is just made for you and me. So basically, I just started it, but somebody recommended it. It's this whole idea of this woman. I think her name's Nora. She's an unhappy 35-year-old living, I think, like in the East Coast. And she is just depressed and unhappy, and she wants to kill herself. And so she attempts the suicide, and it's like a not science fiction. I don't know what it is, the genre. But anyway, she gets stuck between life and death at the Midnight Library. And in the Midnight Library, there's like a bazillion books. And all those books are all the possibilities your life could have based on different decisions and choices. And so she's like, what? Like, I never even imagined all these things. And that's what I think what I love about what you're saying is like, when we go back to the childhood wonder or whatever that part of us that dreams, it's like, you could dream up anything. So why do we get stuck in that like tunnel vision of, well, I only can do what I know, or this wouldn't be possible, or even being afraid to dream bigger or differently?
Yeah. Is that a question for me?
Yeah. I'm just like curious what you find, because you've been doing this with so many humans. Like, what do you think about that?
We get stuck in dreaming because there are I'm going to break this down in a way that you'll like. There are some fundamental voices in our inner dialogue, in our brains, essentially, that all human beings have, that we don't recognize as our lower self. We actually think, oh yeah, these voices are part of me. So you ready to hear the voices?
Yes.
Okay, I already kind of talked about one. It's that voice of the brat. It's that bratty voice that just doesn't wanna. I don't want to put the cookie down. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to have sex with my husband. I don't want to get my work done by the deadline. I don't want to. I would rather, and here's the thing, that voice doesn't sound like that in our smart adult minds. It actually has a PhD.
Right.
And it sounds sort of like, well, my workday was so busy and I'm so very important that I'm just fatigued when I come home. And, the truth is, I don't have any gas in my tank to have sex with my husband.
Yeah, I deserve the night off.
I deserve the night off.
I should just get a foot rub and go to sleep.
Yeah. So that's the voice of the brat. And oftentimes we don't recognize that voice as our lower self. We actually recognize that voice as us, and we listen to it and we take actions aligned with it. And that's a big misstep. That's one of the things that gets in our way. You want to hear the other two
I
voices?
do. I'm literally like, there's the brat. What's the other ones? I'm so curious.
The chicken, which is the voice of fear.
Yeah.
Right. And the chicken is it's that classic voice of fear. It's the voice that's scared to tell your mother-in-law that you're not going to do screen time with your 2-year-old because you're worried that she's going to judge you.
Right.
It's the voice that's scared to ask your boss for a raise. So it justifies, well, it's not good to talk to my boss on a Friday because it's the end of the week for them. And then, Thursdays, I know they have this really big meeting, and Mondays are never good because everybody knows you shouldn't have a promotional conversation on Mondays. It's that voice that justifies that the timing just isn't right to have the conversation. So it's this voice of fear of failure, fear of success, fear of telling the truth, fear of being judged, fear of actually saying what you want on your dating profile.
Yep.
Right? Because you don't want to ostracize somebody or scare somebody away. It's chicken.
Yep. I love that. That's so
Right?
true. And I think I want to highlight what you said before is that these voices are so smart that we don't realize that we're bullshitting ourselves, that they're those lower voices. So I think this is brilliant. What are there more?
There's one more. It's the voice of the weather reporter. So
I love that.
I know. So okay. Remember in the old school days, the weather reporter on the news, their job is to simply report the facts. This is how it is, and that's it. Today, it's going to be snowy in Colorado, so you better have your snow tires. So this voice in our head reports on our life like we have no accountability over it, like we have no impact on the outcome. And it sounds something like, there are no good men in New York.
Right.
My weather reporter used to say, I have a low thyroid. That's why I'm 15 pounds overweight. My husband is just difficult in the evenings, so I can't have conversations with him. We just report on that's the way life is. And the problem with that voice that says, well, that's just the way it is that it completely disempowers us. It takes our hands off of the steering wheel. It disempowers us, disenfranchises us. And the sad part is that we believe it when we hear it.
Yeah, because we set it up, right? So we keep having that cognitive negative bias. We're like, see, right? Like, so we just have all these really hard facts and we believe our weather reporter.
Yeah.
We believe all of them.
Right? Like a really good one of one of my clients is, I am single because I'm fat.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why. And when my client tells that to herself, she's essentially signing herself up for a life of being single and overweight for her whole life. But if she was able to recognize that that's actually not her highest self's truth, that's actually her lower self talking, what she would actually say is, I have developed my body to a point where I'm overweight and I'm not attracting the people that I want to because I'm overweight. I want to attract hot, sexy, men or women. And in order to do that, I need to get accountable with myself, deal with my body, and deal with dating. That's the way her higher self would speak it. But she's stuck in the dynamic of her lower self that she's believing is true. And that's circling back. Like, that's what gets in our way as human beings of our dreams. And every single human being has an inner chicken, an inner brat, and an inner weather reporter that's talking to themselves every single day.
Yeah, it's so crowded in there. Oh my God.
Dude, it's so busy. Can we just well, the good news is you can actually learn how to get them on a leash and learn how to quiet them down. And that's exactly what we teach people how to do. But it's annoying and loud.
It is annoying and loud. And then that vision of what could be, all those books on the shelves of possibility we're blinded to that library, right? We're blinded to those possibilities because not only are those voices loud and annoying, but it's all consuming trying to manage it. There's no time or bandwidth to dream when you're just trying to get through a day with all that shit in your brain.
Seriously, you're you have a 45-pound hiking backpack, emotionally speaking, on.
Yeah, it's brutal. So what are some of the ways that you think that we can get connected to joy?
I would say the fastest beeline to getting connected to joy is, you don't even have to write out your 12 dreams. If you like, yes, you do if you want the comprehensive experience. But if you're listening to this podcast and you want like, okay, Sally, like just give me a tic tac, give me a pill.
Right.
Think about the one thing that you should do in your life that you need to deal with that you've been avoiding. It could be as simple as sorting through your mail. It could be as deep and profound as, getting the support that you need in a certain area of your life, like getting a resume specialist or finding a dating coach or hiring a therapist or hiring a life coach. But think about the one thing that you need to deal with that you're just not dealing with. Make a specific and measurable promise for by when you're going to do it. And then give yourself a self-imposed consequence for if you're not going to do it or if you blow it off.
Okay.
Now, the second part, here's why that's important. So when we are listening to our brat and our chicken and our weather reporter, we are not connected to the long-term consequence of blowing off our dreams. Right? Like,
yeah, that's huge. That's so huge. I just became a country music fan, and I'm obsessed right now with Luke Combs, and he has this song called "Dear Today." It's tomorrow. You probably haven't heard that song.
Yeah. No, I get the concept though.
Yeah, it's so amazing. He was writing this letter, right, to from the point of view of tomorrow, saying like, "Hey, I know you think I'm annoying, but like life is short, and you're taking me for granted. So do what you need to do."
Yeah, do the dang thing, right?
Do the dang thing.
And the reason it's important to put in a self-imposed consequence is because we're not connected to that long-term consequence of if we continue to blow off doing the dang thing day after day. Like for me, if I had when I was eating those Tate's cookies, I wasn't connected to the long-term impact of if I kept doing that for another 6 months, I'd be another 5 pounds heavier. So you create an immediate consequence. Now, I'm not talking be mean to yourself, slap yourself on the hand with a ruler. I'm talking create an action that you will take if you choose to blow off your promise. An action that is good for you, that's annoying.
Ooh, like so, what? Give me an example.
Like, for example, take away your favorite vice, right? So like if you come after my cocktails, you come after my margarita at night, I am going to figure out how to deal with that pile of mail on the front door, right? So if, let's say, for example, my promise is I'm going to sort through my mail by Thursday, 5 p.m. If I don't, I lose margaritas on Friday.
I love
now,
that.
Yeah, right. Now it's a game that I'm creating with myself. It's a scenario designed by my higher self to get the thing done that I've been feeling bad about not doing, so that I can restore my self-confidence in my relationship to myself. Because every time I walk by that pile of mail, I feel bad about myself and I feel like a loser because I can't do anything, let alone sort a pile of mail. So I restore my relationship to myself. I keep the promise. And if I don't, I simply pay my consequence. And the reason I pay my consequence is because I'm going to do that instead of feeling bad. Feeling bad is a worthless, time-wasting emotion because it diverts you from just doing the right thing that would bring you back into integrity with yourself.
Well, so when when we don't do a thing, whatever that thing is, we beat ourselves up.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're saying, if I hear you right, is that when you have a more healthy consequence that doesn't reflect, the worthiness of you as a human,
it's not a morality.
Right, exactly. You're just like, it's like with kids, right? Like, it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means that if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then, you lose your phone for 24 hours or whatever it is, right? So it's not like you're not worthy, you suck. It's like, hey, this is the consequence of not being in integrity. And in this case, it's with yourself.
Precisely. And if you want a short circuit to joy, just pick one thing that you're blowing off in your life, make a promise and a consequence for it, and you will feel proud and happy as soon as you do it. It's a more developed conversation that we have a whole module on in Inner You, which is the online coaching course that we teach this method through. But that's the short and dirty.
I love this because it's using an ideal and that requires you to just do one small thing that can do a whole lot. And also I would maintain too, like if you try this at home, kids, and you don't do it or it doesn't work, like what's amazing is then you can start to ask yourself some, what we call it around here, high quality questions. Not like, why do I suck? I couldn't do what Sally said, but like, like, I wonder what this is trying to show me about myself, or wow, like I feel more maybe I need to get someone to go through my mail, or maybe I don't really care about the margaritas that much, right? Like we can use all of these experiments or these gamification with our mind, what you're talking about, and then learn from it so that it's not the same, like you said, the waste of time. It's way more forward moving than I suck, why bother?
Precisely, because I suck and why bother is a dead end that unfortunately we humans love to park at, because it means that we can just kind of like be comfortable and eat the potato chip and scroll and not actually do the scary thing called pursue our dreams.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. What do you think that people, when they're in that choice point, like they have the consequence, they have the healthy consequence, they have this agreement that they've made to themselves. Is there like a mantra or a remembering, or do you just simply say like, what is this going to do 5 years from now? Like what do you suggest that people do when they're in the moment, if they're conscious that they're in that moment?
So if they're conscious, let me make sure I'm understanding you. So if they're conscious and they're in the moment between listening to their chicken, their brat, or their weather reporter, or doing their highest ideal, what do they do?
Yeah, like if you're like, okay, you know what though? I know that I said I wasn't going to eat these Tate's cookies. But honestly, Sally doesn't know I had the shittiest day, and I'll start tomorrow. Like whatever, like fuck that. You know what? I just want a damn cookie. I deserve it. Like if you're in that moment, is there any sort of like mantra or thing you can say to yourself to help you through?
Yeah, there are two things. So one thing is they can break their promise and pay their consequence and feel the sting of giving up something, giving up their vice, feel the sting of having to run those extra 30 minutes somewhere, feel the sting of doing something that's annoying for them, but good, right? So they can feel the sting. And typically it only takes like 2 to 3 times of feeling that sting for you to wise up and realize, oh, I should fight on the team for my dreams. So that's one option. But another option is, if we look at mantra, one of the things we use in coaching is taglines, and we actually help design new taglines for our clients to live by. So if you think about it, for every area of your life, whether it's going well or poorly, it can really be boiled down to a tagline. Like the tagline is the marquee header of how you relate to it. Okay. So like an area of my life that's going great is my relationship with my husband. And if I think, okay, what's my running relationship? If I were to consolidate my relationship, the way I think about my relationship with my husband into one tagline, it's something along the lines of, we are a dream team who love each other and we got this.
I love that tagline.
Right. And it's a great tagline because when things do get hard, which they do in relationships, that really is what I come back to. And that really is my fundamental belief system. So the tagline is essentially what your underlying belief system is about that area. So if an area is not going well for you, like I'll give you my old tagline for my body. My old tagline for my body was, my body's broken. Right. And I wasn't trying to walk around saying my body's broken, but if I boiled down all of my thoughts about my body, I was relating to it through the lens of my body's broken. So even if I was having a great stint at the gym for 2 weeks and I was eating well and I wasn't eating those cookies every night, I was still fundamentally believing my body's broken and yeah, I can only keep this up for so long. And what's even the point? So the minute I have a moment of like a difficult day or a trigger that would typically trigger me to blow off what I know is best for me, I'm going to revert back to my tagline, which is my body's broken. So we as coaches in Handel Method teach our clients how to rewrite their tagline so that when the going gets tough and you really are standing between, should I keep my promise, should I not, you remember and read your tagline. Sometimes I have my clients set a reminder on their phone to have their tagline pop up 3 times a day so that they just get continuously flooded with the feeling of retraining their subconscious.
I love that, because the way that you change your neural pathways is through repetition, right? And it'll work for you or it'll work against you. So if you want to like say something over and over again, why not choose something that moves you forward rather than something that keeps you stuck?
Right? Like, do you have an area of your life that you're either super proud of or that you're working on that you can think of a tagline that you have?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you said about your husband. My tagline for my husband is, I have a sexy, passionate marriage that gets better and better every day. And sometimes when I'm like, I literally want to throttle you because you're so annoying right now. My husband, this is what he stopped. I think he's going to stop doing it. I always have my vitamins at a certain time, and they're like on a little Lazy Susan thing in our kitchen. And there's a lot of them. They're like supplements and all this kind of crap. Anyway, and so I have this thought where I'm like, oh, I'm going to take my supplements now. And I'm his reminder. So I go and I stand in front of the supplements and I start, taking them. And then he horns in, right? And he starts taking the supplements. And so it like ruins my groove. Right? And I'm like, get out of here. Yeah. It's so annoying. Yeah. So annoying. So he thinks it's funny. I'm like, it's so not funny. So last night or 2 nights ago, I was like, okay. But I had to remember, right? Like, he's not a jerk, right? He's also British, so his humor is very odd to me. And if you're British, maybe you understand that. But anyway, and so I was like, okay, I have a sexy, hot marriage that's getting better and better every day. And that's what's amazing. My husband totally always wants to work on our marriage. And so I know that if I could say, like, not when he's doing it, like, because I just say, oh my God, you're annoying, go away. Like, you're such a copycat. That's like me kind of, that's a throwaway line. It's not like, let's have an actual conversation about it. And so I told him, I don't want to be your reminder. Like, we had a conversation, but I had to remember that tagline, right? Because otherwise I'll just be like, oh my God, here's the list of reasons why he's so annoying. Because after however many years we've been together, like, he can be annoying. So can I. So I love this idea of having a tagline when you get in the challenge of it, that you can remember something that's actually the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And when you say the truth, I think what you mean is your truth.
Yes, my truth. Yes, my truth of my dream.
Yeah, it's your dream. It's your dream for your relationship. That's beautiful.
What's one that you're working on now?
Let me think. So one that I'm working on is fun and adventure.
Yes.
And my fun and adventure tagline, I'm evolving it into being this. So it's a work in progress, which is, it's so easy. Because what I can get into is I have a toddler, and I get into, okay, like getting this person dressed, diapered, out, or finding a babysitter. Like, there's so many new logistics into me going out and having a drink with a girlfriend or going on a trip as a family. It's I'm still on that learning curve of making it easy.
Yes, yeah, I remember that.
So my old tagline used to be, I have a baby.
Yeah. Oh my God. When I was a mom, and because I had a friend who was like, it's so easy. She was my It's So Easy mentor. Her kids were like 6 months older than me. And I was like, I just kind of got raised up to be a mom that way because I was friends with her. And then I'd be like so frustrated by the ones who I have a baby because I want to hang out with you.
Yes. Yes. And then It's So Easy even challenges me to have create fun and adventure with my baby. Like we now go on, skiing adventures, and we make little snowmen together, and we actually have fun and adventure together. So who knew you could actually have fun and adventure with your baby?
Oh my God. I love that, Sally, because literally, I swear, my friend Lita Lee, she would be like, come on. She was from Texas. She'd be like, come on, we're getting our kids we're going to drive to Malibu. I was like, oh, it's so much work. She was like, it's easy. And I was like, okay. And I swear to God, it changed my whole experience of motherhood, because we just constantly had a plan to go do fun stuff. And we just, we came up with systems, and I changed a lot of gross diapers in the back of her Ford Explorers. Got to tell you that.
But they got changed, right? They
totally got changed, and they didn't nap at the perfect time and all those things. But I love that you're working on that, because I think that made for me, I felt like, and for all the you that have kids or grandkids or whatever it is, like, honestly, it just changes the whole texture of the narrative. And I think this is really important too. Like, there's the collective narrative of those taglines, the negative ones, right? Oh, there's all your friends that will say there's no good men. All those friends that would say, I can't, I have a baby, or I can't, like, I have to take care of my elderly, whatever it is, right? And and then everyone is stuck. And so it's really important to collectively have that new tagline, and then find other people that want to live that life too. And so then you're dreaming with people. And I think that's really super cool.
So beautifully said, Marni.
I love it. Well, I think that you're brilliant. I love your light and your energy and all of the work that you're doing. And I said at the beginning of the show offline, I was like, I want lots of practical stuff. And you just, oh my God, like, rewind, people, listen, take notes. This is like a Sally treasure trove.
Oh my gosh, I have so much more too. I'm just chock full.
Chock full.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this method. Is like, it's chock full of specific and measurable tools that you can apply to your life to up level it. It's like, this is why I'm shouting it from the roof. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to do that too.
Absolutely. Ladies, whatever you do, rewind, listen, think about what really struck you today, and then do it. Life check yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Batista, and let's talk soon.